Hey guys, welcome back to Grazy TV. So today we're gonna be talking about K-pop singer YOO. I'm sure if you guys are into K-pop, you guys at least heard of him once. He was one of the most popular K-pop singers ever until his downfall. So this case has been a hot topic recently. Today I'm going to be talking about all the facts first and then going into the rumors, and then I'm going to be asking you guys what your stand is. So YOO, aka he goes by Steve Yoo as well, was born in December 15th, 1976 in South Korea, but he moved to the US, California when he was 13 years old with his family. Apparently at a young age, he made demo tapes, he sent it to entertainment companies, and that is basically how he got scouted. So after he got scouted, he debuted in 1997 with the song Kawi. Now that could be translated as scissors or sleep paralysis, aka nightmare. He was known to have talents in dance, vocal, rap, acting, English. I mean, he was literally multi-talented. He followed up with the song I Love You Nuna or 사랑해 누나. That's a cute title. His debut blew up in Korea. I mean, he became one of the most famous iconic singers in Korea. One of his biggest songs, Na Na Na, topped the charts. He won many awards, including Best Artist of the Year. He sold 1 million copies of the Na 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 song. He had that bad boy, masculine, charisma, fashion kind of image. I mean, this guy was literally born to be a star. If you see his live performance, I mean, back then we didn't really use autotune on live stages. He is literally dancing, rapping, singing. His live MR removed stuff was like one of the most perfect. He went to release more albums and more singles that just topped the charts. I mean, I was too young to understand what a singer was when he was, you know, hot in Korea. But I even remember when you would like open bag of chips in Korea, you know those kind of mini like stickers you have sometimes in bag of chips, and his face, like his stickers would be there. I mean, he was that popular. During his interviews on TV, the reporters would ask, are you going to go to the military? So when the reporters would ask this question, he would answer and saying he will enter the military as a Korean man. And you guys know fans idolize singers. Whatever they say, we're like, woo! You know, we have that like oppa thing where it's like, yes, that's my oppa. Yes, he's going to be a man. He's going to serve in the military. Like, I believe in him. Back 2001, he injured his back and he had a back surgery. And when he went to go to the army checkups, testing to see if you're fit for the military, he was actually unfit for the regular military service. So he was supposed to work as a public server. Public service worker is a little bit different than the regular army. Public service worker, it's more for people who have mental or physical problems. For example, if you do have a back problem and you can't work as regular military, you do have to serve as a public service, which I heard that public service workers, you go home and it's kind of like a 9-to-5 job. You basically have an easier job. That's what they say. Now, right before he was enlisted, he claimed that he needed to do some kind of a show in Japan and that he was going to be overseas. The Korean military did allow him to, you know, do his final show before he was to be drafted. Now, this is where the whole controversy starts. You went to Japan and he stopped by US, California, and that is where he had naturalized to become a US citizen. If you are a US citizen, you don't have to serve in the Korean army. Only Korean citizens serve in the Korean military. So when he came back to Korea, his entry was banned. So he could not enter and step foot in Korea. The immigration would just not allow him. So switching his citizenship right before he was drafted, Korean government considered it as an act of desertion and deported him, permanently banning him from entering the country forever. So at the airport, he was interviewed what he thinks about this ban and why he was naturalized as a US citizen right before he was drafted. So on the interviews, he did say that he was planning to go to the military, but he did change his mind at the last minute. Now, a little background on Korean military, even if you're a service worker, you cannot promote. You basically can't do any other work. You also cannot go to school. So a lot of men, you know, kind of dread going to the military because you can't do anything else. Because you guys know, like 2 years military service, your popularity are going to plummet compared to, you know, when you were the hot star. People forget about celebrities after a couple of years. Also, the fact that you can't earn any other income scares a lot of people. So after he was banned from Korea, he did try multiple times to appeal this, but without any solid reasons, he was never granted access to ever return to Korea again. So he went on to move to China, where he did pursue a acting career. He actually signed with Jackie Chan's entertainment company. He went on to debut in multiple movies along with Jackie Chan. Until this day, he did release a couple musics, but it was not as big as, obviously when he was hot back in 1990s. Now, fast forward to May 2015, he appeared on a live video stream where he was apologizing for his mistakes. He even got on his knees, he was crying. He was basically talking about his side of the story on what happened and how his father and priest did persuade him to not go to the military service. He also claimed that he asked the Korean military if he could serve in the army so he could just be allowed back into Korea. But later, the Korean military did deny his claims. The controversy just doesn't stop there. So after the live streaming, apparently they didn't turn off the mic. Basically, when the cameras were off, people heard him and his friend, apparently that was in the room, cursing at the live stream commenters. Despite all his efforts of trying to change the public perceptions, unfortunately, the public hated him even more. A lot of people were saying that he was just putting on an act, that he is just doing this just to get whatever he wants. He does claim that the cursing wasn't by him and that it was by his friend that was in the room, but at the end of the day, people were just not buying it and people were just furious even more. In 2015, YOO filed a lawsuit against the Korean consulate for denying his visa. Unfortunately, the lower court ruled against YOO and said that, you can never get a visa basically to come back to Korea ever again. But there is actually some good news for YOO. Recently, 2019, the Supreme Court sided with YOO, claiming that refusing entry on YOO was unlawful, basically stating there is no law that restricts YOO. But his case must be reassured one more time, which people say it does take a little bit of time. Let's go to the public opinion and rumors. Survey shows that 70% of Koreans still think that YOO should be banned from entering Korea. And there's a recent interview that YOO did in California with SBS. In the recent interview, he claimed that he was very sorry for what he did. It was something that he did when he was very young, in his young 20s. He just did not know that this controversy would get so big and that he would be banned forever. He claims that his wife asked him, why don't you just stop and just move on with your life? And YOO claims that it's in his roots that he's Korean. He misses Korea. He misses his hometown. And I do understand a little bit. It's like me as a Korean, if I was ever banned to be entered from my own country, from my own roots, that would bother me forever. One of the things he tried to clarify was the reason why he said he was going to go to the military in front of the TV interviews. So YOO claimed that back when he was, hot in Korea, interviewers would just come and stick, mic in front of his face and basically ask him basic questions. So YOO claims that he just answered in the way that any celebrity would, just to try to keep a good image, and he did not know that his words were going to get twisted and blow up in the press the next day. Which is true, because the next day he was on the headlines where it says YOO volunteers for the military, YOO will enter the military, and everybody was like clapping and cheering. And he says that when everybody, the nation, is basically clapping for him, he couldn't go back on his words and he was trying to keep that good celebrity image. He also said that the media twisted everything he says and there's a lot of rumors out there. Basically, media portrays him as someone that already knew that he was not gonna go to the military and that he lied to the public and the media just to look good, when he knew at the end he was going to be naturalized as a US citizen and never go to the military. Of course, he denies this claim, saying that he never planned to just do this from the beginning. He was always planning to serve in the military, but at a young age, by the influence of his family, he did change his mind, and he just never knew that this was going to lead to one of the biggest controversies in Korea. And the biggest argument is that, did you know there's about more than 4,000 people who try to evade the military service just by switching their citizenships? But the thing is, out of over 4,000 people, none of them had been ever banned from Korea like YOO is. Another argument is that YOO did not commit a felony crime, and you guys know that felony crimes are more serious in nature, and people believe that YOO is being nitpicked because there's no one else that have been punished like this. Also, the Korean military does say that if they do allow you to be back in the country, it would cause an outrage to the other Korean military man and provoke teenagers to evade the service. So you guys, basically there's two sides to the case right now. Supporters and the not supporters of YOO. The no supporters of YOO are basically saying that, well, he had betrayed his country, that he's not Korean, that he has done this on purpose, that he broke the law, and therefore he should be punished for life. And there are supporters basically saying that he did make a mistake, but it's been 17 years. It's almost 20 years ago. Like I said, the survey still shows that 70% of people in Korea still thinks that you should be banned. I want to know your opinion, you guys. At the end of the day, people still cannot deny that YOO was once a great entertainer. He delivered something that not a lot of people can. I mean, his songs still remain like a forever 90s memory. Of course, at the same time, you cannot deny the fact that YOO did change his citizenship to not enter the Korean military. Do you think that YOO's mistake should be forever not forgiven? Or that it's been 17 years, it's been long enough, and as a human being, we should learn to forgive? I want you guys to let me know what you guys think down below. If you liked that video, remember to hit the like button. It really helps me out a lot. And if you guys haven't subscribed, and hit the notification bell because I reply to all you early birds. See you guys in my next video. Bye!